You are losing respect every single day and you do not even know it. Not because people hate you, not because you are failing, but because you have been performing 7 habits that silently communicate weakness to everyone watching. These habits feel normal, they feel polite, they feel like the right thing to do. But Niccolò Machiavelli watched princes lose their thrones because of these exact behaviors. He documented how small repeated actions destroy respect more effectively than any single betrayal. Tonight you discover the 7 habits that are quietly turning you into someone nobody respects. And once you see them, you will understand why people treat you the way they do. This is not about becoming cruel. This is about stopping the self-destruction you have been calling good character. Habit 1. Over-explaining yourself to people who already decided you explain yourself too much. Every decision you make comes with a paragraph of justification. Every choice requires you to defend your reasoning to people who did not ask and do not care. This habit is killing your respect faster than any insult could. Machiavelli observed that princes who constantly explained their decisions appeared weak. The strong ruler made a choice and the world adjusted. The weak ruler made a choice and then spent hours convincing everyone it was the right one. When you over-explain, you communicate insecurity. You tell people that you need their approval. You tell them that your decisions are not solid enough to stand on their own. You tell them that you can be talked out of your position with enough questioning. Here is what happens in the minds of people watching. They see you explaining and their subconscious registers doubt. If you were certain, you would not need to justify. If you were powerful, you would not seek validation. If your decision was correct, it would speak for itself. And with every explanation, their respect drops. Not because your reasoning is bad, but because the act of explaining reveals that you think you owe them your reasoning. The powerful do not owe explanations. They provide them when strategic. They withhold them when beneficial. But they never, ever explain themselves to people who are committed to misunderstanding them. Stop explaining your choices to people who have already made up their minds. Stop justifying your decisions to people who are not affected by them. Stop seeking approval from those who have not earned the right to question you. Make your decision. State it once if necessary, then move forward. Let your results do the explaining. Let your success justify itself. The respect you gain from silence will dwarf anything you could achieve through explanation. Habit 2. Apologizing for things that are not your fault. You apologize constantly. Someone bumps into you and you say sorry. Someone misunderstands your clear instruction and you apologize for their confusion. Someone gets offended by your boundary and you apologize for having standards. This habit is destroying your respect from the inside out. Machiavelli studied the courts of Italy where princes who apologized excessively were seen as guilty of everything. An apology was an admission, and once you admitted fault for small things you did not do, people assumed you were at fault for larger things as well. When you apologize for things that are not your responsibility, you train people to blame you. You teach them that you will accept fault to keep the peace. You show them that you value their comfort more than your own integrity. And they learn to use this against you. The serial apologizer becomes the group's scapegoat. Why? Because they have demonstrated they will take blame that does not belong to them. They are safe to blame. They will accept it without fight. Your excessive apologies also communicate that you believe you are wrong by default, that your existence is an inconvenience, that you are sorry for taking up space in the world. This energy is repulsive to respect. Respect gravitates toward those who believe they have a right to be here. Stop apologizing for things you did not do. Stop saying sorry when someone else creates a problem. Stop taking blame that belongs to others just to smooth over social tension. Reserve your apologies for actual wrongs you have committed. Make them rare. Make them meaningful. And when you do apologize for a real mistake, do it once and move on. Do not grovel. Do not over-explain the apology. State it and let it stand. The person who apologizes for everything is respected by no one. The person who apologizes only when truly wrong is taken seriously every time. Habit 3. Being available to everyone all the time. You are too accessible. You answer every call. You respond to every message within minutes. You make yourself available to anyone who demands your time regardless of whether they deserve it. This habit is destroying your value in every relationship you have. Machiavelli understood scarcity. He watched how princes who were always accessible became taken for granted. Their time had no value because it was always available. But the prince who was selectively available became sought after. His time became precious because it was rare. When you are always accessible, you communicate that your time is worthless. You tell people that nothing you are doing is more important than their random thought. You show them that you have no boundaries, no priorities, no life beyond serving their needs. And they respond by respecting your time less and less. The person who drops everything to respond is the person whose opinion matters least. Why? Because their availability proves they have nothing more important happening. Their instant response reveals they were waiting for someone to give them purpose. Powerful people are selectively unavailable. They do not answer every call. They do not respond to every message immediately. They create gaps in their accessibility that force others to value the time they do give. This is not game playing. This is protecting your most valuable resource. Your time and attention are finite. Every minute given to someone undeserving is a minute stolen from your purpose, your growth, your goals. Start letting calls go to voicemail. Let messages sit for hours or days. Create space between their demand and your response. Watch what happens. The people who truly respect you will wait. The people who do not will reveal themselves by getting angry that you have boundaries. And those people never respected you anyway. They just appreciated your usefulness. Habit 4. Seeking consensus before making decisions. You ask too many people what they think. Before you make a choice, you poll everyone around you. You seek consensus. You want everyone to agree before you move forward. This habit makes you appear leaderless. Machiavelli watched democracies collapse and dictatorships thrive, not because dictatorship is good, but because decisive action beats committee discussion every single time. The prince who needed everyone's agreement before acting was always too late. The opportunity passed while he was still gathering opinions. When you seek consensus for your decisions, you communicate that you do not trust yourself. You tell people that your judgment is insufficient. You show them that you need the group to validate your thoughts before you can act on them. This is leadership suicide. Leaders make decisions. They gather information. They consider advice. But when the moment comes, they decide alone and take full responsibility. Followers seek consensus. They want someone else to share the blame if things go wrong. They want the safety of group agreement so they cannot be singled out for failure. People do not respect consensus seekers. They respect decision makers. Even if the decision is wrong, the act of making it alone commands more respect than making the right decision by committee. Stop asking everyone what they think. Stop seeking permission from people who have no stake in your outcome. Stop hiding behind group agreement. Make your decisions, own them completely. Accept that some will disagree. Accept that some will criticize. Accept that you might be wrong, but make the decision anyway. The respect you earn from decisive action will outweigh any respect you lose from occasional mistakes. Indecision is a permanent reputation destroyer. Bad decisions are temporary setbacks that can be corrected. Choose the temporary risk over the permanent damage. Habit 5. Tolerating disrespect to keep the peace. You let disrespect slide. Someone crosses a line and you ignore it because you do not want conflict. Someone violates your boundary and you pretend it did not happen because confrontation is uncomfortable. Someone insults you and you laugh it off to keep the atmosphere friendly. This habit is the fastest way to become invisible. Machiavelli was clear on this point. The prince who tolerates disrespect will soon tolerate betrayal. Why? Because every instance of accepted disrespect is a test. And when you fail the test by doing nothing, the next test is harder. The disrespect escalates until you finally react or until you are completely dominated. When you tolerate disrespect to keep the peace, you do not keep peace. You keep quiet depression. You keep your own diminishment. You keep a false harmony built on your willingness to be violated. And everyone involved knows it is false. The person disrespecting you knows you are weak. That is why they did it. The people watching know you are weak. That is why they do not defend you. And you know you are weak. That is why you feel the shame burning in your chest every time you let it happen. Keeping the peace is not a virtue when peace requires your dignity. Real peace comes from established boundaries that everyone respects. Fake peace comes from your silence about violations. Stop choosing fake peace. Stop letting disrespect pass without consequence. You do not need to explode. You do not need to match their energy. But you do need to respond. A cold stare, a direct statement, a removal of access. Something that communicates the line was crossed and there is a price. The temporary discomfort of addressing disrespect is nothing compared to the permanent damage of tolerating it. One builds respect, the other destroys it completely. Habit 6. Sharing your plans before you execute them. You talk too much about what you are going to do. You announce your goals. You share your plans. You tell everyone what you are working on before you have any results to show. This habit invites sabotage and destroys credibility. Machiavelli advised princes to move in silence. The plan announced is the plan that faces resistance. The plan executed quietly is the plan that succeeds before anyone can interfere. When you share your plans prematurely, several things happen. First, you invite opinions you did not ask for. People will tell you why it will not work. They will point out obstacles. They will plant seeds of doubt. Second, you create accountability to the wrong people. Now you feel pressure to follow through not because you want to, but because you announced it and people are watching. Third, you give your enemies time to prepare. Anyone who does not want you to succeed now knows exactly what to block. Fourth, you burn the motivation that should fuel your action. The dopamine hit from talking about your plans mimics the dopamine hit from actually doing them. Your brain gets rewarded for the announcement and loses urgency for the execution. The result is you become known as someone who talks big and delivers small. Every plan you announce and fail to complete destroys your credibility. People stop believing you. They stop taking you seriously. You become the person who is always about to do something great but never actually does it. Stop sharing your plans. Stop announcing your goals. Stop telling people what you are building. Move in silence. Execute in private. Announce with results. Let your completed work speak. Let your achieved goals be the announcement. The respect you gain from unexpected success is massive. The respect you lose from announced failures is permanent. Protect your plans like military secrets. Share them only with those who are directly involved and absolutely necessary. Everyone else learns about it when it is done. Habit 7. Putting others first, while neglecting yourself. You sacrifice yourself constantly. You put everyone else's needs before your own. You help others while your own life falls apart. You give your time, energy, and resources to people who would not do the same for you. This habit does not make you noble. It makes you a doormat. Machiavelli observed that the most charitable princes were often the most disrespected. Why? Because constant self-sacrifice signals low self-worth. It communicates that others are more important than you. It shows that you do not value yourself enough to prioritize your own needs. When you always put others first, people do not appreciate it. They expect it. Your generosity becomes their entitlement. Your help becomes their right. And the moment you stop, they get angry. Not grateful for what you gave. Angry that you stopped giving. This is because you trained them to see you as a resource, not a person. You became a tool for their benefit. And tools do not get respect, they get used. The person who neglects themselves to serve others is communicating a desperate need for approval. They are buying affection with service. They are trying to earn love through utility. And everyone sees it. This energy repels respect. Respect flows toward those who respect themselves enough to have boundaries. Toward those who help from abundance, not desperation. Toward those who give strategically, not compulsively. Stop sacrificing yourself for people who do not sacrifice for you. Stop putting everyone else first while you come last. Stop depleting yourself to fill others. Take care of yourself first. Build yourself first. Secure your own foundation before you help others build theirs. This is not selfishness. This is self-respect. And when you respect yourself enough to prioritize your own well-being, others will follow your lead. They will respect you because you have shown them how you expect to be treated. The person who neglects themselves teaches others to neglect them too. The transformation, breaking these habits and reclaiming respect. You now see the 7 habits that have been destroying your respect. Over-explaining, over-apologizing, over-availability, consensus-seeking, tolerating disrespect, premature sharing, self-neglect. These habits feel normal because society taught you they were virtues. But Machiavelli knew better. He watched these virtues destroy powerful men. He documented how kindness without boundaries becomes weakness, how generosity without reciprocity becomes exploitation, how patience without consequence becomes submission. Breaking these habits will not be comfortable. You will feel guilty for not explaining yourself. You will feel rude for not apologizing. You will feel selfish for being unavailable. You will feel arrogant for deciding alone. You will feel mean for addressing disrespect. You will feel secretive for not sharing. You will feel wrong for prioritizing yourself. These feelings are the death throes of your conditioning. They are society's last attempt to keep you compliant, available, and controllable. Push through them. The guilt you feel today is the price of the respect you will command tomorrow. Start small. Pick one habit. Focus on breaking it for 1 week. When you catch yourself over-explaining, stop mid-sentence. When you start to apologize for something that is not your fault, swallow the words. When someone demands your immediate attention, let it wait. When you want consensus, make the decision alone. When disrespect happens, respond with consequence. When you want to announce your plan, stay silent. When you start to sacrifice yourself, redirect that energy to your own goals. Each time you break the habit, you reclaim a piece of your respect. Each time you choose the uncomfortable boundary over the comfortable violation, you become stronger. The people around you will notice. Some will adjust and start respecting the new boundaries. Others will fight against the change because they benefited from your old habits. Let them fight. Let them complain. Let them call you selfish or cold or different. Their resistance is proof that you are being used, and their departure is proof that they never respected you anyway. They respected what you did for them. The respect you are building now is different. It is based on who you are, not what you provide. It is based on your boundaries, not your availability. It is based on your self-respect, not your service. This respect is permanent. This respect is real. This respect cannot be taken away because it comes from within. Your respect starts now. You have been losing respect through 7 quiet habits that seemed harmless. Over-explaining yourself to people who do not deserve your justification. Apologizing for things you did not do. Being available to everyone at all times. Seeking consensus instead of making decisions. Tolerating disrespect to avoid conflict. Sharing your plans before you execute them. Putting everyone else first while you neglect yourself. Each habit felt small. Each seemed polite. Each appeared to be the right thing to do. But together, they created a version of you that nobody respects. Not because you are not valuable, but because you do not act like you are valuable. That changes now. The man who emerges from this moment operates differently. He explains himself rarely and only when strategic. He apologizes only for actual wrongs and never for existing. He protects his time and attention like the finite resources they are. He makes decisions alone and owns them completely. He addresses disrespect immediately and without apology. He moves in silence and announces with results. He builds himself first and helps others from overflow, not depletion. This transformation will not happen overnight. These habits have years of momentum. They are carved into your neural pathways. They are expected by everyone around you. Breaking them requires conscious effort every single day. But every time you catch yourself falling into the old pattern and choose differently, you become someone new. Every time you feel the guilt of boundaries and push through it anyway, you add steel to your spine. Every time someone tests the new you and meets consequences instead of compliance, you build a reputation that precedes you. The respect you have lost can be rebuilt. The respect that was destroyed by these 7 habits can be reclaimed through 7 new disciplines. Explanation becomes selective communication. Apology becomes rare and meaningful. Availability becomes strategic and protected. Consensus becomes decisive action. Tolerance becomes boundary enforcement. Sharing becomes silent execution. Self-neglect becomes self-priority. Make these changes. Hold these boundaries. Break these habits. And watch how quickly the world begins to treat you differently. Not because you became cruel, but because you stopped being convenient. Not because you became cold, but because you started respecting yourself enough to demand respect from others. If this truth has shown you the habits destroying your respect, then your transformation has already begun. The awareness is the first step. The action is the second. Start today. Choose one habit. Break it consciously. Feel the discomfort. Push through it. And notice how differently people respond when you stop performing behaviors that communicate weakness. Your respect begins now. Not when you finish breaking all 7 habits, but the moment you decide they no longer control you. Machiavelli knew that princes are made, not born. Respect is earned, not given. And the earning starts with stopping the 7 behaviors that quietly destroy it. Stop explaining. Stop apologizing. Stop being available. Stop seeking consensus. Stop tolerating disrespect. Stop sharing prematurely. Stop neglecting yourself. Start commanding respect through boundaries, decisions, and self-worth. The throne is empty. Take it.